Thanks for joining me. This is Iziello. I'm going to take you through my latest track called Rubato. Pretty much how I made it from start to finish. This is the final project that you can see now. I'll just skim through it. I'll give you a listen to the main bits. It's a progressive trance style track. What have we got here? We got up to about 73 tracks on this one. That's about the standard that I'll go through. As you can see from the top here, intro, break, drop, and then into a break, and then another drop number 2, and then for an outro. For my style, this is a pretty short track. It's around the five-ish minute mark for this one. Let's take a listen to the drop on this one. All right, a few elements to go through there. So we'll start off with probably the most important in dance music, and that's your kick drum. Just got 2 kick drums in this session here. This one is coming from kick 2, I would say. Yep, you can take a look at it there. It's actually just a preset there. AS's Encore Sounds, absolutely love what they do. Just got a bit of EQ on that one, taken out some problem frequencies and just giving a little bit of spice up on the top end. Also, a little trick that I use is just to shorten the kicks. I just do that with volume. So LFO tool there, mainly just do that to work with the bass. I also do the exact opposite on the bass channel, if you can see. I'll quickly show you that. Probably going to get a good view of it there. So what we're going to do, just take you through that. So that's just the bass bus going on with it. If you want to take a look at that, there's the kick. So I'm just shaving off that last edge there. That's just clearing room for the bass, which is just doing that at the moment. The main bass I'm really interested in there is the sub bass. And that's just ducking out of the way at the kick, and they're basically just talking to each other, clearing space for each other throughout this track, pretty much throughout most of my productions. That's generally how I work with kick and bass. Plenty of other ideas for you. You can also spot your frequencies. I generally use Pro Q2 for that one. Probably should upgrade to Pro Q3, but I'm on Pro Q2 there. And that'll just be, let's have a look at it. I'll get a Pro Q2 up for us. So what I'm trying to do here is just find the frequency that the kick is peaking at, and you can just work off that for your kick and your bass. So here we're probably looking at about, bring that up for you so you can see, somewhere in that space. This track is in E flat, so probably use that as a bit of a guide. D, probably around there somewhere, I'd say. Yep, that's your E flat, about 40 odd hertz, and then we can just have a look at that on our bass, and then we generally just duck a little bit of that out. All options to try for you, not saying once tried, tested. There's no give or take. Sorry, not no give or take. There's no right or wrong on those. They're just things that I do try to get the kick and the bass working together throughout my sessions. All right, let's move on to the bass. Probably heard a little bit of it just before. Generally split up my bass up into at least 2, but sometimes 3 layers, which I think I've done in this one. That's just a little intro bass on that one. That would just be filtering up and down, especially in the intros. That's just that little arpy, sort of plucky sound, just adding a bit of movement to the sequence. Usually just phase or filter that left and right, that sort of thing. Just add interest to the ear there. In the breakdown, you can see there, I'll just bring that up. I just got a little respace going, which is that subby, pretty common one that you can see there. That's working for my old school ES2, pretty much the oldest synth that I've ever worked with. Still Still use it for basic sounds. I reckon it's got really good filters and waveforms in that one. That just, whenever you just need a simple, quick, old school bass, pull up the ES2 for all your Logic users. So breakdown on this one's that little sort of dead mousey type pluck coming in on this. Starts pretty basic, just straight chords. That's coming out from the violin of it. I've just laid it essentially. So we've got our violin. Got a little arp going on in the background. Pads are just playing the straight chords, which I've labelled there. And then you've got your vintage pad as well. That's kind of your evolving. And then there are the plucks there that are going. Pretty straightforward chord progression on that one. That is actually coming out of, I'm going to say it's Anna. Yep. Probably going to be an Encore patch. And that's just filter opening up, pretty stock standard sound that you see in dance music these days. Release looks like it's getting a bit of a tweak there as well. Just still trying to build that tension before the drop. All right, let's take a look at this drop. So I'm just basically, I got all those chords open. So on this one here, we have got, obviously kicks going along there. That's a little melody that I've got going on. You can tell there that's layered with true sounds, I reckon it is. So you've got the little more paddy, slower attack, longer release sort of setup. And that's kind of that comey, almost Avicii sort of filtery sound that we like. That's coming from probably my favourite synth, which is Spire. Yep, little comb filter or combo, that one's called. And then the main synth is coming from there. So what I like to do, obviously in the breakdown there, you can see I've just got the chords playing as straight chords, a little bit plucky. And then I generally like to mix it up a little bit on the drop, just to keep adding interest. Otherwise this stuff gets a bit boring. Stuff should always be evolving throughout the track. So as you can see here, we've got a little different beats and bops going on there. So just some little 16th and then just a little sort of return just to finish that little riff off there, which just keeps adding a bit of interest. On top of all that, I've got some drums playing as well. It's not too complex here. I try to keep my drums pretty basic, especially with my style. Obviously, want your kick to be fitting with your bass nicely. Generally like having a ride on my drops and try and keep a lot of the snarey and that sort of thing clearish because I like my synths doing all the work in that space. All right, so there's the drums going. Listen to all of it together. You can hear I've got a little bass following the synth pattern there, which is just a little saw lead on that one there. I'm not sure if you've got the stereo, but that's just sort of tremoloing from left to right. It's a preset that I've just touched up, and that one's coming from Serum. Absolutely love that preset right there, BA some grit. Find it always just feels the spot that I need, especially when you've got sort of synths and stuff laying over that. That's pretty much the guts of it on the drop. Generally keep all my effects on the bottom there, and I've got fills and effects going on, so I'll show you those quickly. All right, so build up effects, just a couple of different ones here. I generally put them all on a bus just to add a little bit of EQs and things like that together, if there's anything sort of individual. And we'll keep moving on through there. Another little trick that I use, if we check, I do this on the master bus these days. So adding tension once again, pretty important in my style. So Master bus, I've got gain going on, EQ frequency and width. I generally automate all of those just before the drop, so I like to get it nice and narrow and EQ up and just chop off all those lows. Kind of that fade into nothing sort of sound that you like. Going on. Just getting a little bit narrower. You really want that to punch you in the face when it comes out. Boom, love it. So that's the drop. I generally don't do my drops in this length of track too long. Main reason, I just don't want to lose energy, dance floor. Don't want it to be too repetitive. So also kind of find that once you're wanting it a bit more, if they don't go for too long. So it's that kind of burst of energy. And then we're back into the euphoric, hands up, sweep down, filters down. Getting those spirit fingers up in the air for this one. And that's just made up of the pad. Those chords coming back in, just playing the straight first chord, which I think is an E major from memory. D major, sorry, this one's in D major. A bit of automation on that one. Got filter. LFO tool going, so nice and straight, no pumping there. Which is also another little trick I like using. So just in the breakdowns, generally takes most LFO tools off, and just want those fingers high in the air. And then as we come in, obviously we can start that side chain again. Just going to mix it up a bit here on the second drop. That's pretty much the guts of it on this one. Like I said, I got stacks of individual effects. Let's have a look at these. All right, give you a bit of a taste of what I generally use. Most of them are pretty much the same for most tracks. So big downfiller noises, big snare builds, big snare drums, pre-drop, downs, crashes I like using, just adding a bit of tension throughout the track. Also love these little Avicii rise type. Probably a little sine wave, pitching up, that sort of thing. Oh, it's fine. Works really good here. That's pretty much the guts of it for this track. Generally, as far as my process goes, I am right into using Scalar to write these days. If you don't know Scalar, check that out. Scalar 2, absolutely awesome plugin. I'll see if I got one loaded up. If not, it won't take long for me to get one up to show you. All right, I'll get a new track up for us. Cool software. It's by the guys at Plugin. Basically do all my writing here, and then you can use it as an instrument as well, or you can use it individually. I usually generally just write off pianos, just like that. If you want to get something going really, really quick, generally just go over here to scales. Okay, I want to write in, I think this one's in D major. Let's just do that. Bang, there we go. There's all your keys in the chord. All good. They've got so many presets here that can just get the creative juices going. Let's go EDM. If I want to keep it in D major, just over here, maintain current scale. Look at that, ready to go. Ideas are flowing already. That's just got a performance going on that one. All right, so many options to choose from. Have a suss of that, learn them. It's actually where I'm pretty sure I got my name for this track from this plugin. Yep. This one's called, like I said, Rubato. Alright. So just different performances you can go through. Yeah, a bit jazzy, probably not too EDM-y on this one, but that's the sort of stuff you can work with. Basically, once you've got your chords there, you can just click and drag, and then you can add your own synths and all that sort of stuff in there. But yeah, absolutely rate this plugin so highly. changed the game. One of those plugins that changed the game, probably similar to when Metric AB came out. That one there sort of changed the game, which is mastering plugin. All right, that's pretty much all I've got for you to show. If you've got any questions, hit me up in the comments. I'll be free to answer anything. I do want to get too techie on this one, so just a few pointers and tips and sort of things I do in my creative process. And also going to be doing a few of these videos. So if you've got any tracks of mine that you like, or you want to sort of ask me any questions on how to make some synths and whatnot, then don't be shy. Hit my way. You've been listening to Iziello on a track walkthrough. Thanks for checking that one out, and stay tuned for many more of these. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. And check out my music if you haven't already. I'm on all the major streaming platforms. Until next time, take it easy and keep on trancing.